Good morning, everyone. Or is it afternoon? It might even be night. I don't know, and I don't really care. But today, we're gonna be working on the Rally Miata again, trying to chase down the boost leak and trying to get the car to make the amount of boost it's supposed to. It's supposed to be making 8 PSI, it's making 5 PSI. Somewhere in here, air pressure is leaking out before it gets into the engine, which is bad. We don't want that. One of the charge pipes might have a hole. Some of the hose clamps might not be tight enough. The snorkel may be restricting air. The intercooler may have a hole in it. There's so many possibilities, and that's why this sucks, is because there's so many possibilities, so it's gonna take forever to figure it out. As you all know, this car doesn't have any sort of seat belts, no safety restraints whatsoever. It is a death trap. So what I did is I bought the cheapest SFI approved harnesses I could find. Tanaka, AKA to knock off. But they are SFI approved and they are 5 points, so hopefully I won't submarine. Those harnesses are kind of temporary until I get some actual legit nice harnesses. I figured something is better than nothing. If I got in an accident right now, I'd go flying through the windshield and onto the concrete and my body would be destroyed. Those harnesses should save my life. Maybe I'll submarine and die of internal bleeding, but that's a better death than getting your body all torn up on the cement, right? I don't know. Either way, it's better than nothing, in my opinion, I think. Who knows? They are 5 points, so let's go ahead and install them real quick. You guys know how to install harnesses. You wrap it around the harness bar, you plug it in, it's all good. So we're going to install them now. Boom! They are both installed. They look pretty decent. They smell really good, which is weird. And they're nice and tight, so that's all good. Now before I touch anything, I'm gonna do a baseline pull with no snorkel and nothing else messed with. We're gonna see how much boost it makes like this, and then we'll change some things, try again, change some things, try again, until hopefully we're making 7 to 8 pounds of boost. So we got some good news. We did some pulls, just the exact same thing as it was last night, except no snorkel. And at redline, 7200, I was holding it at redline, we made 7.2 pounds of boost, which is pretty much what we're supposed to be making. I mean, we're supposed to be making 8, but close enough, right? So we were messing around in here, and Mike just so happened to notice that one of the pulleys for the belt, the supercharger belt, was on my under tray. And yeah, so I think that's the cause of all of our issues, is that this thing fell off and it's causing the belt to slip and therefore not make as much boost as it should be making. Because this thing has just been completely snapped off for most likely a long time. I mean, it had oil on it, so that means it's been sitting down there enough to have oil leak on it. Oh, you can hear it. It's gonna be like flying down here like...
Dude, it looks way faster.
Does it?
It looked faster for sure. That was pretty quick.
So yeah, I did a pretty terrible job last night documenting the process of fixing the boost leak. But the good news is that we did manage to fix it. So let me go ahead and show you what we did. During the first test that we did yesterday, the car made 7.2 pounds of boost, but it was only in the last like 400 RPMs of the power band. Pretty much what was happening is it was making 5 pounds of boost up to like 6,500 RPMs, and then the boost spiked up to 7.2 pounds boosted. So there was obviously still something wrong. And that's when we found out that the tensioner had broken off and the belt wasn't properly tensioned. So we went ahead and put the tensioner back on and properly torqued it. Pretty much what happened is I had forgot to torque it down after I changed the tension less. So yeah, that was definitely my fault. We fixed it, we did another run, nothing changed. It still made around 5 pounds of boost up until 6,500 RPMs, and then boost started to spike. Turns out the old hose clamp that was right here was broken, and it wasn't like holding it down at all, so we tightened that up, did a power run, didn't change anything. So it wasn't that. We thought that maybe the bypass valve was leaking, so we unhooked the bypass valve so it was always closed, did a power run, still made around 5 pounds of boost, and then peaked to around 7 pounds of boost. Eventually, after testing some things, we found out that this right here was the culprit. This is a tube that connects the intake to the idle speed control valve over there, which is on the intake manifold. This is a one-way valve which allows air to go this way, but not to go this way. Or at least that's what it's supposed to do. It was on backwards, which allowed air to go this way and not this way. So when it got into boost, some of the boost was coming out back into the intake. So that was our issue. This thing was leaking a little bit of boost. Now the power band is a little bit more linear. It makes around 6 pounds of boost at, you know, 5 grand and peaks at 8 pounds of boost at Redline. I was hoping for a little bit better power band. I wanted it to make 8 pounds of boost, you know, not at Redline, at like, you know, 5 grand, but I mean, that's how superchargers work. So at 7,200 RPMs, when you're bouncing off the limiter, it does make 8 pounds of boost. The funny thing is that this thing has been on the wrong way for a long time. Even with the old pulley, this thing was on the wrong way. So even with the old pulley, we were leaking boost, which is why it was only making 4 pounds of boost, not 5 pounds of boost. Yada, yada, yada. So we figured it all out. It wasn't the snorkel. It's not any of that stuff. It's not the snorkel filter. It's not the couplers or anything. It was this. I'm sure the tensioner, you know, affected it a little bit, and some other things that we fixed affected it a little bit, but not as much as that. So everything is good now. We fixed it. There is still one issue. There's a rattle around 5 to 6 grand under full throttle. It rattles. Something rattles. I think it's the exhaust. I was talking to Mike, and he said that the exhaust on this car is pretty restrictive. It's like 2 1/4. And the headers are pretty crappy, which we already knew that. So we might get some performance headers, some actual performance headers, not eBay, and a bigger exhaust. I don't know, we'll see. Let's go ahead and reinstall the snorkel and drive it home in the rain. That's gonna be fun. Sick. And there we go, snorkel is on. Let's get out of here. It's quite miserable out today. We're really gonna test whether that hood scoop will protect things in the rain or not. But it should be fun for some skids. Jesus Christ. It's very noisy in here. There's a lot of rattles and superchargers and rattles mostly. To drift this car because it doesn't have very much steering angle because of the big mud tires. Now I gotta be on that 93 life. I'm about to calculate my fuel economy. I got 140 miles on 8.5 gallons. That's 16.4 miles per gallon. To be fair, those were, you know, all full throttle miles, but still, 16 miles per gallon in my Miata. It's still 1.6 and it only makes like 160 horsepower. The car successfully made it back in the rain. Everything was golden. No water on the injectors or anything. It probably sprayed up there, but at least it doesn't pool up there. Gotta say, this thing is so freaking fun in the rain. With the extra power, it gets sideways in second gear so easily. There's like a little bit of throttle and it gets in the boost and then boom, it's sideways. You can't get like super mad angle because, like I said, mud tires, but it's really fun. It's actually less sketchy to get sideways in this thing than this thing because this car is just so predictable. You know when the boost is going to kick in, you know when it's going to get sideways. It's a controllable amount, so it's really fun. The thing about this car is it takes a while to build boost, and then when the boost kicks in, it just freaking goes crazy and destroys any traction you ever hoped of having. So the Rally Miata, really fun in this weather. Like, oh, I just want to go out and keep driving. Like every single corner, there's a little bit of throttle, you're sideways. Probably not safe nor legal to do that, but oh, it's so fun, so fun, so fun. I know a lot of you guys don't like the look of the snorkel, but it works really well and sounds really cool. So, yeah. But guys, I think that's going to be it for today's video. I don't know if it's short or not. I'm guessing it's going to be short, so I'm sorry for that. In the next video, we're working on the RX-7, getting the wheels painted, and doing some other painting stuff. So, paintings, no, I didn't say anything. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video nonetheless. I'm super happy with the Rally Miata now that We fixed the boost leak. It's driving awesome. It's making power. It's just like, it's so fun. It's not the fastest thing in the world, nor the most economical, as we found out, but it's so fun. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Subscribe if you're new, like the video, dislike the video, give me some feedback. If you want to help support the channel and the builds, you can get some key tags in the link in the description below. Rally Miata key tag or Miata is always the answer. So thank you guys so much. Peace out, and I'll see you next time. Mike's gonna take me for a ride in a supercharged Civic. This little guy. That was awesome. It's like it doesn't stop pulling.